Hey everybody, it's Durger time. Thank you for joining me once again for another episode of Let's Play Wrestling GM. We are here in our go home show before our next and final pay-per-view for the series. And we got some good feud action going on. We got some good build-up and heat that should pay off. We got some very fatigued wrestlers to deal with. And all of that's coming to an head now as we get into this final show before our pay-per-view. If you've liked what you've seen so far from watching this entire series, as I said previously, this entire series is sponsored by the designers of the game. So go ahead and click the link in the description. Start playing right away. You can also click the link to join the official subreddit for the game itself. Pretty tight-knit community there, sharing feedback and ideas and booking ideas. So go ahead and check both of those links out. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get on with our final show before our pay-per-view. Now, our issue right now is we have burned out some wrestlers. So we're going to have to give them a little time off this game. And that's fine. I kind of was hoping for a little more build on some of them, but we definitely probably burned them. So we're going to have to play around with people that we haven't really dealt with that much. Now, some people, Poison is fine. May probably is fine, but I want to keep her on the bench a little bit. Jasmine we could probably use, but Okuda and Banshee are definitely burned out, so we got to keep that in mind. We'll look at it, we'll play with it. We're probably gonna have to just keep them off this show as we build up, and just give them a little bit of time to rest. So let us go ahead and get into the next show. 90 minutes to book, should be pretty easy. Well, I say that now, but with all the people we have to avoid hurting, maybe not too easy, but all right. Well, it doesn't seem like this hurts too much. So we can have Leia officially call out May to a 2 out of 3 falls match. I don't think that's gonna really hurt them because they're fatigued. They're not gonna be wrestling, so we'll make that a nice long segment. That should work. That should I think they only take fatigue from actual matches. At least that's what the stats look like. So segments should be fine. And to fill out for a match, let's go ahead and let's do a regular match. Let's have Princess Kinjo have a match against a mid-carder. Takano. Let's have Kinjo win. She's been losing a lot. And I think a win against Takano is going to be pretty good for her. We're going to do a 15-minute match. I think that'll work out pretty nicely. And then we can have a... So, looking at our feuds, right? We got May and Leia, which we've kind of dealt with. The Banshee and Hydra is going to be difficult because Okuda and Banshee are tired. We might have a match with Hydra and Oishi separate. And maybe that will help them out. Maybe we'll have that now. So let's have a promo or challenge or something like that. We'll do a challenge so they can both be in the segment. Kuda and Oishi. Again, just saying that, this will be something like you're you're nothing without your tag team partners or something like that, and kind of setting up an idea that we're going to have this sort of singles match or something like that. It'll be a decent way to kind of build that, I think. And then we'll have the match, obviously. And so Banshee's spent. Hydra is fresh, though. Okuta's spent, but we can have Oishi. And we're going to give Oishi a win. Have another 15-minute match with a pinfall. Be kind of an upset situation, right? And then maybe a 2-on-1 with Banshee and Hydra, pissed off after the fact, attacking Oishi. She gets the win, but gets beat down in the process, right? So that kind of builds that feud nicely. Now we still have Jasmine. We have a storyline with Jasmine. I'm trying to remember what that feud is now. With Kita. Jasmine's a little tired, so I'm going to keep her off a match. And we're going to have Kita have a match with somebody. This way, well, she's a little spent too. Not too bad. We might be risking it here, but we'll have her against Heaven, maybe. Have her win. We're going to have a short match. Let's try not to make it too long. Have a submission. And after the fact, we have an attack as Jasmine, who has a chip on her shoulder, kind of comes out and attacks her. Yeah, look at Okuda and Banshee are real danger zone in terms of fatigue. At this point, we have to be very careful with how we do that. I'm hoping that the angles don't affect that and it gives them some time to rest, because I still want to build their feuds up. We kind of need to, but I would hate for that to end up suffering us in this situation. Jasmine attacks Kita. 4-minute segment seems fine. What else do we need? Next feud we have is Nishimura and Okabe. The sort of tag breaking apart, and obviously we have Poison and Tano. Let's have Poison. Let's protect Poison a little bit, because I have a feeling. Well, I don't want to do a match. We'll have her have a promo. I'm a little worried about the fatigue issue, because she is also fatigued a little bit, so I don't want her to go super hard. In fact, let's take up a little bit more time with that promo. We're going to give her like 10 minutes to plead her case. That's just to maybe fill up that time so that we can kind of protect some people in the situation. And we can probably have... Let's see. How's Tano? She's one of our main eventers. She seems perfect health. So let's put her against... Why don't we do Tanaka, former champion, in a match? Do like a 20-minute match to fill up some time. And then after the fact, another beatdown. Just all beatdowns leading up to this, as Tano gets attacked by Poison. And then we are now at the point where what we can do we have one final feud to really look at here. And that's Nishimori and Okabe. Nishimori's at perfect health. And how is Okabe? Okabe's at perfect health. So we can have them have a match here. 1-on-1. Or do we, why don't we bring in a new tag team? We kind of can build in this interesting element where it's Nishimori and Nishimori and who? We already used Heaven. Maybe Ito versus Okabe and Jitsuko. So kind of having a bit of a build here. We're going to give Okabe the win after a count out. So sort of them getting new, and in fact, let's have a promo from Nishimori. Well, actually, it should. Yeah, we'll do Nishimori. At first, I was like, you know what? Maybe Okabe should be the one. So Nishimori's out there, and she's basically saying, and we're just going to move that over, I think. Let's move it down. There we go. Okay. So Nishimori basically is saying, you know, I don't know what's gotten into her. I still want to be in the tag scene. I found a new tag partner. You know, kind of building up the idea that her and Ito are going to be tag partners. And, you know, obviously she loses in that segment. And then we're going to give Okabe this sort of gaudy celebration after the fact. So that I think hits all of our segments here. So, you know, Leia and May have something in this story. Kinjo and Takano have a match, but we still build up the Banshee and Hydra story. So I think that hits all of our bases. And that gets us ready for our actual pay-per-view. So let's see how this go-home show turns out. And hopefully all the cards sort of fall where they need to. And we have people rested where they need to. Once the show starts, yeah. Okay, so we start the show with Leia and May. It's an underperformer. We know that. It's not going to be a big one. Leia's still looking good. Gains 200 fans. May gains nobody. But Leia issues that 2 out of 3 falls challenge for the next pay-per-view, saying that we need to settle this kind of situation. Kinjo has a match against Takano. It's not bad. It's 46. Actually, it is pretty solid in this situation. Takano had a 43 and Kinjo had a 40. Kinjo has that youth applying to her, doing well, and gets a win against a mid-carder. Luckily, though, Takano doesn't lose any fans in the process. So that's nice that we kind of don't have to worry about that. Next up, we have Banshee and Hydra issuing a challenge to Okuda and Oishi. Again, the situation being that Banshee's a little tired. Hydra is saying that you're nothing without your tag team. You know, if you had one-on-one, we would demolish you. Don't even worry about it. This segment is fine. A 40's not too bad. Overall, can't really complain about it. I feel like this rating's probably going to be weaker than most because of our main event, but we will see. This match is really good, though. Hydra loses to Oishi. Hydra had a 52, and Oishi had a 42. Again, benefiting from that superstar look and that cool factor, and Hydra also benefiting from a superstar look. Gains no followers. but Oishi does gain a few fans, built up that feud, which gives us a benefit from this. And Oishi gets a win over Hydra, which leads into a beatdown. It does pretty okay. 38 is not horrible. Banshee and Hydra end up smacking down and basically abusing the fact that it was a singles match to attack and double up on the singles competitor after she got a win. That moves us on into the Kita versus Yogami match. Again, just a kind of a nothing match, just more kind of moving people around, giving them some opportunities. Kita gets the win in this situation, beats Heaven. She has a 40. Heaven has a 35. Not much to say about it. The 42 is actually pretty good for what we're looking for in terms of a mid-card match. Unfortunately, this segment underperforms. Jasmine, after the fact, attacks Kita backstage after her win, furthering her feud. She has that cool look. She's got that superstar look, but the segment just does not do very well. It's a real bummer. Again, though, we're trying to protect Jasmine, trying to protect her fatigue, so hopefully this does that. Poison has a very good promo. She's a very long one, like a 10-minute one here, as she's, calling out the champion, calling out who she is, how she's unstoppable. She's an unstoppable force here at the JF, and that she has no idea, what she's in for. Leads to our semi-main event with Tano shrugging off Poison and having a match with the former champion Tanaka, in which Tano puts her away by submission. She's a 51. Takana had a 50. The Pure 2 and the Superstar look doing very well for her, though we are getting a little bit of a depletion in her stamina. So something we would have to look at, that we're starting to kind of burn her out potentially. After the fact, Poison comes out and attacks Tano. This segment also underperforms a little bit. Poison has a 47. Tano has a 14. Poison's menace doing well to boost her up here, and we do build that feud back up a bit with this 4-minute segment. After that, Nishimura has that call out about the tag scene, saying that, she just wants her tag partner back. She doesn't understand, but she wants to still be a tag fighter, so she's found a new partner, and they're going to have a match tonight, but she doesn't understand why. In that, we have a main event of Nishimori and Ito versus Okabe and Jitsuko, and it's underwhelming. We knew that this main event was I would probably put it in the wrong spot, but it's a 38, and Okabe beats Nishimura in this match to continue to build a feud up. It's not great. Okabe then finishes off the show with a minor celebration to gloat about the win over her former tag partner, trying to prove to her that she's her better. Gets us a 42, which is not bad. We were saying we're probably going to get a 40, so some of those mid-matches actually boosted us up, I think, better than I thought we were going to have. So that is pretty good. Now, we're on to the next pay-per-view. That is going to be the problem here for us, because we do not know. Obviously, we got some hot heat here with Banshee and Hydra, thankfully. May not doing as much. The rest of them are pretty cold. But the roster and their fatigue is definitely the concern at this point. Banshee's looking fine. Hydra's still fine. Jasmine's looking a little bit fresh. Leia's back to fresh. May's back to fresh. So I think that we did what we needed to do with the promos. We still built those stories, but we kind of protected them a little bit, which was what we wanted to do. So overall, we're safe there, which is nice. That was kind of my concern. So we're going to go into our pay-per-view with a pretty fresh roster, where we can kind of abuse them for that last show and get the pay-per-view off of the hitch, and hopefully we get like a 45 or something, and see where we end up. So that was show number 4 in February 2020 for the save leading up to our pay-per-view. Thank you guys for joining me. and I'll see you next time for the conclusion of this series at our pay-per-view in February and see how it all wraps up. Have a great one.